said a bad word in our house, you will march to that sink and got your mouth washed out with soap. When my two brothers oftentimes would torture my mother, I mean, they were just curious, mischievous, slightly hyperactive boys. But there were days when she had it, and I can remember her saying this as if she said it yesterday. Does anybody remember what my mom used to say to my brothers?
Wait till your father gets home.
That's it. Wait till your father gets home. And I remember my father coming up the stairs from our garage in Suffolk Road. He was usually carrying his lunchbox. He was tired, he was hungry, and before he got his coat off, my mom would let him in and tell her everything that my two brothers did. All a twig and and she said, I want you to punish them, Ed. And my father, the last thing he wanted to do, he was tired. He had no beef with his two sons. He wanted to play with them. So my father said, okay, he took his belt off, and he would lightly lift their butts and pretend he didn't see the books they shoved down in the seat of their pants. That was my mother. My mother was a disciplinarian, my father not so much. And I just want to share one more very good story, and please keep reading and talk to your children. When I finished my sophomore year of college, I was 18 or 19 years old. I was living at home for the summer, and I did not want to be there. I wanted to be back in Boston with my boyfriend. So I came up with a plan, and I asked my mother, could I go to BU and stay in the dorm, and I gave them a lot of money because I could graduate early. And my mother said to me, Regis, you can do that, but you're going to have to pay for it. Your father and I didn't budget for summer school. So I said, no problem. I was very excited, and I was frantically looking for a job. And the next day, she came home from the nursing home she was working in, and she said, they need help in the kitchen if you want that job. I said, Mom, I'd love it. She said, but I just want to warn you, you have to show up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when kids start. I said, no problem. So off to work I go, and I got a job in the kitchen in this nursing home, and they were hiring me for 5 weeks. I would have enough money to go to BU, to take these courses and stay in the dorm. And visit my boyfriend who lived 2 blocks from BU. When I got there, I was informed that the job was a dishwasher. It was the hardest, almost most disgusting corporate job I'd ever had. Every time I opened the dishwasher, hot steam. I would come soak my hair, wet my clothes. The temperature in the kitchen was at least 500 degrees. I had to scrape stuff off these plates that didn't even look like food. I thought maybe it was vomit. There were sometimes teeth on the plates that I had to take off and put on a separate tray. I was miserable. I did it for 5 days. Then my mom came and picked me up from work, and we were driving home in the car. And I said, Mom, I can't have this job anymore. We got to come up with something better for me. This is just, it's too hard. And I said to her everything I just shared with you, that I hated about the job. And she was driving, and I sort of expected her to put her hand on my thigh and say, don't worry about it, honey, we're going to find something better. I'm proud of you for hanging in there for 5 days. My mother took her finger and she pointed to the pig, and she said, don't you ever complain about doing an honest day's job for an honest day's pay. You've got 4 more weeks to work, and then you will be able to go to Boston. I was shocked. I never said a word.
Now I know where you get it from.
You didn't argue with my mother. But it just surprised me that she didn't feel sorry for me, wasn't proud of me, and wanted to get me out of this horrible job. So I went, I finished the 4 more weeks that I had. I merrily went up to Boston University. I was very happy.
I'm sure you were
But some
working
really good things came out of this job, besides me marrying the guy over there. Let me tell you what this job did. First of all, no other job I ever had for the rest of my life, for the rest of the 60 years that I worked, felt hard to me. Everything felt easy after doing that job. And the second thing, it did something to my psyche. It made me understand and not so much have sympathy for, but to think twice about people who have jobs like I had. And they were doing it so they could be with their boyfriend in the summer. They were doing it because they wanted to, they had to put food on their table. Did I also say that I was able to graduated a semester early?
No.
No. Okay, so that was another good thing that came out of the job. I did graduate from you a semester early. I saved my parents hundreds of dollars, which in today's money would be $1,000. But anyway, this job really changed my life. I started thanking people that were mopping floors in public restrooms and just thanking the person who would bag my groceries and put them in a carriage for me. And I always thank the person at the restaurant who would come to clear our dishes away. I knew where they were going. It was life-changing for me. And I learned and said to myself that my mother knew what she was doing when she sent me back into that kitchen for 4 more weeks. That's just an example of the amazing parents that we were privileged to grow up with. So I just wanted to give sort of the newcomers of the family a little insight into my parents, Fran and Ed. We love you, we miss you, we talk to you every day. That's it. Wait, one more thing. I'm changing the topics now. Before I sit down, I want to thank all of the Santa helpers that signed up on the spreadsheet. I don't know how this ever was pulled off by anybody without you. A special shout out to Stephanie, who did help me with all of the technology, the spreadsheets, everything. I could have done that. And to Jody, who helped me with absolutely everything. Woo! Everything you experienced here, Jody